Hey, what's up, guys? We're back with some WoW content after a few years hiatus, playing a lot of Souls games and other random stuff I've been uploading to my YouTube channel. So I figured a good place to get back into it would be Zekvir hard mode. A much more difficult fight than I anticipated it would be. Required a lot of strategizing, and of course it's going to be different for a rogue versus a warlock versus a warrior versus a paladin versus whoever, but this is my take on it as a rogue. Gear itself on my wrists, I've got these damage proc embellishment. Weapon has stat proc embellishment. Gnashing Fang Trinket, Detachable Fang Trinket for damage, and Empowering Crystal for another stat proc. Bran, level 44, running him as a healer. Combat Curio is the arrow that does big damage, and then the relic is he has a chance to throw out additional potions. All right, so right off the bat, you're popping everything. Fear comes out pretty soon, and I'll be covering things pretty fast because the abilities are pretty fast, so I'm going to try to keep up as I narrate over this. Fear coming out. I tried to get this down to where I could dance out and get out right at the last second, shadow step right back into him, so for maximum damage. Interrupting the heal cast as late as absolutely possible, just because it's free damage that you're given to him and damage that he's not doing to you. And that heal does a 30% heal on him, so it just has to be interrupted. And if that means you're going to take the Enfeebling Spittle, then you're going to take the Enfeebling Spittle. Bran will dispel you every once in a while. I have Cloak. I was going to use my Cloak there, but I realized on this pool that he actually has a range on the Enfeebling Spittle, which looked like 25 or 30 yards, so I got on the egg there, did damage to it, and the Enfeebling Spittle didn't hit me, and I realized that, so I actually held my Cloak there. Again, another heal coming out. I'm going to kick this nice and late. Claw Smash, Fear coming out of this, I believe. Nope, Enfeebling Spittle. So this is the one that I cloak. Yep, cloaked that. I was going to run out for the Fear, but my cloak was still running, so I just sat in with that, doing more damage. Got a nice egg spawn. I'm going to go near it. I do a lot of cleave damage, a subtlety spec, so sometimes I'll get directly on the egg and try to kind of keep up with it. Other times I'll just be cleaving off of Zekvir, depending on how much damage I've got loaded up. So pushed him into the second phase. Had a weird bug there where I actually stopped auto attacking. I don't know what that was about, but quickly finished that egg off with just barely enough time. Transition to the second phase. He adds a handful of abilities here, and some of the abilities that he was doing change a little bit. So this is one of the new ones, which is honestly just free damage. Just don't get hit by the swirlies. He's not doing any damage to you. You get the good chance to pump him. So if you take one thing away from this video, that Enfeebling Spittle cast that just happened is bait. If you only have one interrupt, do not interrupt it. You're about to see why. There's a heal right here that you need to save your interrupt for. I lost many attempts accidentally interrupting that Enfeebling Spittle cast and then not being able to interrupt the heal. So yeah, save it for the heal. So next up, we've got Egg and Swirlies. This egg I felt a little bad about at first, and then the Fear forced me out, and I knew for sure I wasn't going to kill it in time, so I pull some combo points. I go ahead and interrupt this Spittle, because that one he's got a heal much later after it, so I felt good about just kicking it to avoid the damage and finish up this ad. Finish up the ad, and then I believe we're going into a Swirly phase here, yep. Get some good damage in, and out of this should be another ad spawn, if I remember right, yep. Getting myself in a position for the egg, waiting on his heal. So kick the heal, work my way over to the egg a little bit, kind of waiting to see what he does. So he's sending out an Angler's Web first, then I go ahead and make my way over to the egg. He's Enfeebling Spit, which I have to just deal with for a few seconds. I, self-heal, looking for Bran to throw me some potions, things like that. He threw a Fear out. The Fear sends orbs out in phase 2, so you got to kind of look where, the nearest orb is, see if it's facing you, and you got to sidestep it. As it shoots towards you. Not too terrible to deal with, but if you're against the wall, it's kind of nasty. Here's a better view at it. Yeah, so those orbs fire out in 4 different directions. Another heal, so I'm sitting on him waiting, interrupting late. I've got some cooldowns ready, so at this point I actually sit on my cooldowns, even though this is a damage phase right here. The egg spawn is super far away, so I want to work him over there. Bran's dead. I cloak that Spittle. I get him over near the egg, and then I start to pop off. That way I can cleave this egg down really easily. He fears. I step out of that. Finish up with the egg. Get back on him. Got a Swirly phase. It starts to get a little easier at this point. Like the 60 to 30 range, at least at the damage pacing that I'm doing, is really bad with the way the spells line up and overlap and stuff. So you really have to kind of have a hard plan for that phase in terms of what you're going to interrupt, what you're not. This spittle I actually vanished, which was nice, and then I kind of dropped all my threat to Bran, and it let me kind of have a free ending here. I'm not worried about that egg because I notice he's so low, and just trying to finish him up at this point. You can see he starts going after Bran because I had vanished. But yeah, that was a nice little trick too. In the moment, I kind of said, I don't have cloak, I don't have anything for this spit, and I don't want him healing with my kick on cooldown, so I'm going to go ahead and just vanish and see if it'll work. And I couldn't tell if I actually took the debuff and then vanished it off, or if the vanish just was like at such a time that it made it so the ability just didn't hit me at all. But yeah, that fight was pretty insane. It's just like a barrage of mechanics that you have to really like get a feel for each one and how you're going to handle each one, and then you have to figure out at like what points in the fight they're going to either line up or overlap in such a way. Again, they can get queued, and like you'll have 3 abilities sitting in DBM or bigwigs that show that like any of them could go off, so you got to be ready for like any of the 3 to go off in whatever order. Again, the heal you cannot like not interrupt it. It got to the point where if a heal got through, I gave up and went again. It just wasn't even worth the 30% heal trying to fight back through that. So hopefully this can help some people. It took me, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. I put in some attempts a few weeks ago, but it just seemed a little too ridiculous. So tried it at a little higher eye level, a little higher brand level. I think it scales quite a bit too, because I know like there were some people that did it at like eye level 570 and they weren't taking anywhere near the damage that I was taking. You can see the whole time my health is just like dancing from 100% to 50% to 20% back up to 80%, just like flying all over the place. So I don't know how much eye level really matters so much as like your strat matters, considering the way that it seems to be scaling. But fun fight overall. It's probably the most difficult like solo boss that they've ever put in the game, or solo content that they've ever put in the game, because there's just there's so much to be responsible for, and really like any one slip up kind of seems like death. At least that's how it felt for me on a rogue. So hopefully I can help some people, specifically rogues, but maybe it'll give some other classes and folks different ideas and stuff. But feel free to ask me any questions. I know that I didn't think it was going to be so fast-paced to do a voiceover over this, but it was kind of hard to keep up with everything that was going on while like explaining things on a granular level. So if anybody has any questions or is looking for like further recommendations or help or anything, feel free to drop it in the comments. Happy to help out. So good luck to anybody trying this. Hopefully this video can help you out, and we'll catch you on the next one.